So one of the most important factors is called the quality score. It is the primary factor that Google uses right now to as far as that aspect of its algorithm goes. And basically, every website has an entity database. This is part of the Panda algorithm, and that entity database basically. What happens in that is Google sort of assigns a quality score metric to your site. And this metric is based on Google's overall evaluation of your site. The better your site's quality score, the easier it will be for you to rank. And this is why we sort of want to get our quality score as high as we can. You got to remember that since Google AI is tracking real user behavior and using that as a quality signal, we're basically trying to avoid the scenario where a user searches for something that we can provide them, finds our result on the Serp pages, click on our result, visit our page, and they don't find what they're looking for, and they quickly go back, they hit the back button in the browser and go back to Google and click on another list and click on another result. We absolutely want to avoid that. We want to terminate the user's search intent. And that's a very important factor. We want to terminate, we want to satisfy the user, we want to keep them clicking within our site. We don't want them to go back to Google, which is an indicator to Google that they did not find what they were looking for in the first place. We want to avoid that. Another very important factor is the Serp user metrics. What are the click-through rates of your result in the searches as compared to the other sites that are ranking? So if on say you're at position 5 on page 1 for a particular search query, and you have a very catchy title and a very catchy description as opposed to somebody else who's ranking at number 3, and because of that you get more clicks, you get more click-throughs when people search for that particular keyword, then that's going to tell Google, hey, people are liking that result, they're liking result at number 5. And when people click on that, on your result, and they come to your site and they don't go back, they don't bounce back, then that's going to give you more and more plus points, and your site's going to basically bump up in its rankings because your CTR is higher than the result on page on spot number 3, and you've terminated the user search query. So that's going to bump your rankings. Things like on-page user metrics are things like how are users interacting and behaving when they visit your site? What's their dwell time? How much time are they spending on your site? How much time are they spending on the pages? Are you satisfying their search intent? Are they terminating their search queries? Are the bounce rate percentages low? These are all very important factors, and Google will compare all this data from your site with the other sites that are ranking in the same niche for the same keyword and around your ranking locations. Then Google also look at traffic metrics. All your backlinks that you create around the web that are pointing to your pages and to your site, Google looks at that. Google looks at what kind of click-through rates they're getting, what kind of clicks are they getting, how much traffic is your social signal, are your social profiles driving to your site. That's also very important. Google is measuring all this. They're not just measuring the existence of a backlink, but they're measuring the actual traffic each of those links give. And that's because people on mobile can't really create backlinks, right? When you're on your cell phone, which is more than 50% of the user base right now, you don't create a backlink. You just do a social share, and you create these automatic links when you share specific pages, and which is why Google needs to measure that, and Google measures the clicks that happen once you create these social shares. And of course, link building metrics is a very important part. Like what's the quality of your backlink? How relevant are they? Where they exist? Are they existing in the same niche? Are they existing on the page that talks about the content that you're serving, or on a site that is relevant to your page or your website? How natural looking is your website? And how fast are you building these links? Or how fast are these links appearing to Google? Of course, you don't want Google to know that you're building these links. So Google is looking at how fast your links are being built. What's the link velocity, as it's called? And these are just the sort of the top, some of the top ranking factors. But you need to really look at your niche that you're in and understand what's happening in that niche. You need to examine what's happening with the top 10 sites that are ranking in that niche. Are they, what kind of links are do they have? And you need to emulate that ratio as closely as you can, because Google's working with artificial intelligence, and which means Google's looking for similar patterns, which makes link building a lot easier than it was at one point of time. But you need to really apply your mind. You can't go about doing everything mechanically. There's a lot more strategy involved now.